Welcome to Read, Eat, Travel, Repeat, the book club and podcast with your hosts, Sarah, Kit, and Marianne, three friends who talk about all things books, food, and travel. Welcome, readers, eaters, and travelers to Read, Eat, Travel, Repeat, the podcast and book club where books take us beyond the page. I'm Sarah.
I'm Kit.
And I'm Marianne. Today we'll be talking about The Hunting Party by Lucy Foley. Spoiler warning for anyone who hasn't read the book. While we will be giving initial thoughts and ideas, eventually we will be spoiling the end.
And we'll let you know when we get to that point, so feel free to listen till then, pause, and then come back once you finish the book. And as always, we are adult readers, and we will probably say some adult things. You have been warned.
Yeah, for sure.
For
sure.
So what was our gut reaction to this book? Sarah, you've read this one before. Do you remember how you felt the first time you read it?
Yeah, I read it and I was like, well, first of all, it is the whole, what's the trope that she pointed out? It's called a singular, I don't remember.
Yeah. I know what you're saying.
The fact that it's
setting kind of thing.
Yeah, and it's very Agatha Christie, which, and then there were none is one of my favorites. The whole, we are trapped in a mansion together. Someone has died. Somebody did it. I'm a sucker for that one. The old mansion, or in this case, the hunting lodge. So I immediately loved it and did not see all the twists and turns. So it was one that when we were looking for a thriller to do, it's the first one that came to my mind. Loved it that much. How about you, Kit?
I loved it. I always forget how much I actually like thrillers and mysteries until I read one. And then I'm like, why have I not read more? So I was super, super excited to read this one, and it definitely paid off. I thought, I'm going to say it right now. I thought I knew where it was going, but I didn't. Because when I went back and looked at my notes, I have so many notes that are like, oh my God, is he the killer?
I know.
Oh my God, is she dead? I had no idea what was happening. But that's what I want out of a thriller. I want to have zero idea what's going on until the reveal. Because if I figure it out early, then no good.
I've read it before and I couldn't remember who was killed.
Yeah.
It's been a few years, but it wasn't sometimes you go back and read a book and you're like, oh yeah, I remember where it was like reading it again for the first time. Yes.
So good about it though is it's a double reveal on this one because someone has died.
But you don't know
and
who.
there's only so many people who could have done it. But you don't know who the murderer is. You also don't know who the victim is.
Right.
So the whole time I'm like, is Heather dead? Is Miranda dead? Did Katie do it? I was so confused.
Yeah. You know it's a woman, but you don't know which one.
Yes. And even then, you're not 100% sure
we're
away.
already spoiling, so,
It's all right. You're not sure right away, though. You're like, what is going on? So, yeah. How about you, Emma?
I never read Lucy Foley before. I've seen her name all over the place. And, I'm always wary of thrillers and mysteries because I don't like things that are gory. But this really, except for the hunting scene, other than that, there really wasn't much blood and guts. I mean, I don't like I'd rather have detailed spice than detailed death, So, I went in pretty blind, which I do with most of my reads. I don't really I very rarely read the blurb on the back of the book or whatever. I just kind of go in blind. So I didn't know what to expect. It was such an unlikable group of characters. Oh my word. The only two I liked was the gamekeeper and the office manager. The rest of those people, they were miserable.
And even the gamekeeper was questionable for a while. It was like, do I like him? Do I? Yeah.
I liked him, but I didn't trust him. You know what I mean?
I felt that's a good way to put it.
I felt like he had redeeming qualities, and I don't know. I liked him, but I didn't trust him completely. But overall, I really enjoyed it. It was a fun read. It kept me guessing, and but I could have done without the hunting scene.
Yeah.
But other than that, mostly the initiation thing.
Yeah.
That.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyhow. Moving on.
Plot points. Let's dig right in. There's so many. I kept typing more and more things.
Yeah.
And I was like, and then also even at that, for those of you that can't see the screen we're looking at, I'm like, and then the stalker subplot, and then the affair subplot, and then the groundskeeper subplot, and then all the other subplots. I was like, as I started
subplots to get you thinking.
And as I started, I'd kind of forgotten because I read this
Mhm.
like maybe a month ago. And as I started to look at my notes on my Kindle and started to like make the outline, I was like, oh my, I forgot about that. I forgot about
Yep.
that. There's
Yep.
so much that goes on. But I think at the start, at the heart of the story is friendships and
Yeah.
the shifting nature of friendships and
Yes.
relationships. So I had that down as plot point number one.
I think too
Discuss amongst
the
yourselves.
secrets that come with friendships. Because when
Yeah.
you are
Yeah.
friends long enough with people,
Yes.
not even I mean, they have bad secrets, but I'm saying, secrets that friends know about you that it's not common knowledge to the general public kinda
Right.
thing, even if it's not like their secrets were
That's a bad secret.
career ending kinda
Yeah,
things,
Yes.
but I think with friendships, the longer you're friends, the more dirt you have on each other, basically.
for sure. For sure. And
Well, I
that's
think
as I was reading this, like, and there might be a quote later on that kind of ties to it. But how much of
Yes.
these relationships are still being held together by actual like enjoyment of each other? Like, ooh, we do
Yes.
like each other. And
not at
how much
all.
of it is the idea of keep your friends close, keep your enemies closer? Like, I can't let these people out of my sight because they do have too much dirt.
Yes.
And is that really
Yeah.
a friendship? Not really.
Yes.
Yeah, I think at some point you got to accept that you've outgrown a friendship, and none of them are willing to do that. They're all willing to like try to hang on. And like college is such a different thing than real life. I mean, like in college, especially when you're all living in the same dorm and the same,
Yes.
You're on top
it's
of each
not
other.
it's
Yeah.
completely different, like microcosm. It's not like real life. And I think they were trying to like hold on to their youth. And at some point, you got to accept that we can stay Facebook friends, but that doesn't mean we have to be best buddies.
Right.
Right.
You don't have to take a vacation together every year.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah. And like the whole vacation is like again, like there's like the
Love
dual
that
nature of
idea.
some of the
I
stuff.
love
Like
the
I
idea of
love
that,
the
but
idea of we're carving out time
yes.
to like go do something together. Like even if we think about just the three of us, like oh, we're gonna go run a race. We're gonna
Right,
carve out
right.
some time to go do something together, even though we don't see each other all the time. But then this started to feel very like performative.
Well, like,
Yes,
Like
exactly.
nobody you don't get the impression that anybody really wanted to do it
No.
right. They were just like, we have to.
besides Emma, because she planned it and she's trying to fit in the whole time.
Right.
And also I think
But
Miranda, because she wants to be the queen
she
bee
still needs
that
to be
Yes.
the center of she needs to know
the
that
center
she's
of
still the center of
attention.
everyone's world, even if they're not
Yes.
together all the time. Yes.
But
Which
yeah, I think
Yeah.
and I think it's hard though too. I think it would be a whole different vibe if like it's just the three of us got together, whether as we dragged along our spouses.
Yeah.
Then it becomes not as much fun.
Yeah.
And I
exactly.
guess
Yeah.
some of the spouses were part of the original friend group, but not all of
But not
them. So
all of
then
them, which makes it yeah.
then
Yes.
you've got some outsiders, and that changes the whole vibe. So I felt like they were just trying too hard.
And it does kind of like lead right to like our thoughts about Miranda the queen bee, the idea of like
Yes.
mean
Yep.
girls. 'Cause
Yep.
she is a mean
She
girl.
really
Yes,
is.
she is.
Yeah. And she almost doesn't care who knows it. Like
Oh
she's
yeah.
not like sometimes when you think of mean girls, it's kind of like that over like, oh, bless your heart, like
Yeah.
overly sweet.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like, is she mean or am I sensitive? Like what's happening right now? I felt like Miranda was just like, I don't fucking care who knows it. I'm gonna get what I want when I want,
Yep.
however I need to do
Yep.
to get it.
But at the same time, if I remember correctly, she's also the only one in the friend group who hasn't been successful professionally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is that mean girl an act to cover up her insecurity
Yeah.
over not being successful in the way the others are? We got attorneys, and I forget
She's
what.
living off her husband's money and she's spending it
Yes,
all. She's the one walking
Yeah.
in with all the fancy clothes and fancy
Yep.
everything,
right.
but
It's
she's
So I
all
not
feel like
making
I feel
any.
like it's a
Yeah.
mask to mask
Yeah.
her true
Yeah.
insecurities about the fact that she has not launched.
Yeah. Well, I
She's
think
still.
she was a mean girl right from the start. Like
Oh
I
yeah,
think you know what I
absolutely.
mean? Like even before kind of everyone else's careers took off or they
Yeah.
started having,
Yeah.
getting married and then there's kids involved. And I
Yeah.
think so I think she's a mean girl by nature. Like
Yeah.
that's just her default personality.
Mhm.
And then the farther behind she fell, the meaner she got.
And also like the fertility, the fact that,
Yeah.
the other ones had a baby and she hasn't been able to get pregnant. And
Yeah.
I feel like that's just making her meaner and making her have to lord it over the rest even more.
Well, and
Mhm.
even at one point, I think it's Katie that talks about she doesn't even think Miranda even wants kids, but she wants the next step.
Right.
And that next step, it's
Yeah.
not about having kids, it's about having. And
Yeah.
so because these friends are moving on with their life, it means that she needs to move on. So a kid is the next step. So she doesn't even
And
want children for the right reason. She just
and
because it
that
looks
also
good.
justifies her existence as a stay-at-home person,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
Yes.
when you're just living off your husband's income with like an occasional web designing gig,
Yeah.
you know, that you still have that feeling of like I'm not earning my keep, but if you're staying home with the kid, then you
Then you're
as
doing
far as
something.
society
Yeah.
looks at
Yep.
you, then you have a reason for staying home.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
That's very true.
Fair.
But in the
Yeah.
end, in a sense, all of them end up being a little bit of mean girls.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
The
I mean,
whole
Miranda starts it, but even is it Samira? Is that her name?
Yeah.
You don't have a lot about her, but she's not super nice either. And every time I was like, how close is this cabin? Because
Oh,
you
yeah,
just
when they're
left your
leaving the
baby. I
baby.
get like you have a baby monitor, but like
Yeah.
how
No.
close? I'm saying like we would do that when our neighbors' kids were young and we would have a fire outside. We're talking literally in the yard with the
Right.
baby
Yeah, yeah,
monitor
yeah.
or at our
Yeah.
house, which is 10 feet away from each other.
Yes.
Not like, oh, it's 50 yards
I
away, which is what I imagine
thought the
these
same
And
thing.
cottages
there's
are.
And they were like,
yeah.
it seemed like everybody else was like, "Ugh, you're worrying too much. And I'm like, is she though? Is
I
she
know.
worrying
Is
too much?
she?
Or is she maybe not worrying enough?
Yeah.
No.
Because in my mind, just like the way I was picturing it, like a solid 100 yards from the cabin
Yeah.
to the main
Yes.
lodge. I
Well, not
can't
only
think
that,
they're
but
But your
right on
baby
top of
monitor's
each
gonna
other.
last that long. I don't think it's
No.
Plug
reaching.
and play and put the kid
That's
in the
I would say
Fair,
I would be
100%.
like
Find a
that
side room.
that
Yeah.
lodge is more than one room. Why not
Right.
Yes.
put the baby over here? And yeah,
And
that
why
bothered me every time I
why
read
would
that. I
you
was like,
even
why?
come? Like if you
Yeah.
knew you were gonna have to leave, I would not be leaving the baby in the cabin.
No.
Especially after they've talked about like spoilers, I guess. Relatively early on when they start talking about like the dangers in the woods. Like
Yeah.
it's
And
right out
the
the
serial
gate.
killer. There's a serial
Yes.
killer that's killed several women in Scotland or something in there.
Right.
That's right.
But like
What they
right
call it,
out
the
the
Scottish
gate.
Ripper.
Scottish
Yeah.
Ripper, I think is what they were
Yeah.
calling it. Yeah. And I was
We
like,
know that there are like we know that there's potentially a serial killer, which probably is not after a baby, but still
Right.
strangers wandering around. 2, we have the really fucking weird other guests. Where are they
yeah.
from? Sweden? Swedes?
Wait,
Where are they
Iceland.
from?
The
Iceland?
Icelandic people.
They have no cell phone signal, so how could
they get it?
the
I know.
baby
I was
monitor
like,
work?
how does the baby monitor work?
But you have these really weird people that are, for all
Yeah.
intents and purposes, wandering the property,
Yeah.
having really like weird sex. Like,
The Highland
Yeah.
Ripper.
listen,
That was a
I-
weird part. I was
right.
like, whoa.
I don't. That's spoiler again, I guess. When I forget which character it is, stumbles upon the
Miranda.
Icelandic couple
I had a quote
Miranda
about it
because
actually. 'cause
just-
it was so weird.
fucking in the woods
Yeah.
and
Mhm.
like nasty. Like I'm not talking like it's not like oh so romantic. It's like there's blood involved and
Mhm.
like maybe some chanting. I don't remember. As I was reading it, I'm like, what a weird addition to this plot. Like,
Yeah. I put a quote down on that because I wanted to kind of talk about your thoughts on it.
yeah.
So
Like,
but-
let's-
yeah, because
let's
Miranda's
jump right to the
stumbling
quote.
on
Why
them.
not?
okay. So the
Go
quote
right to the quote.
said, "It would be a lie to say that scene in the woods didn't rattle me. It was the animal nature of it, the violence of it in the middle of all that wildness." And I started thinking when I put this quote down initially, because I was trying to do quotes that would hint at who the killer was.
Yeah.
And it was really interesting because then when I was done putting it all together, I was like, Lucy Foley, first of all, did a really good job of giving everybody some sort of
Yep.
personality trait that would make them a suspect.
That,
Because
yes.
every person has something at
Every
one point
person
going,
you could be like,
I have done bad
"Huh?"
things.
Yeah.
But the
Except
fact
for Heather. I don't think Heather did anything
she's the only
wrong.
one, no,
No.
yeah.
Yeah.
But the fact that it's called the hunting party,
Yes.
and there's a reason it's hunting party because of like Ma, when you're talking about the brutality when they went deer hunting,
Yeah.
it's there on purpose because
Yeah.
Right.
what happens, a murder is brutal. And I
Yeah.
thought is that why she put that in? Because needing to remind everyone of
parallel?
a parallel of this animalistic, crazy type thing that's happening. And I was like,
Yeah.
that's when I think of it that way, it isn't so out there.
Well, see, it did. I mean, for me, it didn't seem that out there only because of the description of the Icelandic couple that they were
Yes.
very rough and they
And
were,
growling animal noises. She's like animal
yes.
noises and
right.
growling, and
I
she's
mean,
on
that,
all fours.
Yeah.
yeah.
So they're so and like
Yeah,
and she
I
but
just
talks
kept
all those
about
thinking,
all
on
those
the
choices are
moss.
intentional. Like,
Yeah,
I'm
there's
thinking
there's
her
a
knees
reason
must
she
be
put 'em that
really
way.
cold.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking too. I was like, is there snow on the ground?
And
She's on her knees
wow,
naked.
what a great I didn't even think about that. Like, it never even crossed my mind that they're snowed in. It's the middle of winter.
Yes.
I
Like,
think it was
that's
before the storm came
chilly.
though. I think
But
it
it's
was
still
It's still fucking
before, but
cold
still
though, you
I was
know?
like,
cold.
But then as far as Miranda being disturbed by it, I said, I think it's because she's always got a mask. And
Yes.
so she
yes.
was rattled by like honest, pure, not
Like,
pure,
just going it's pure.
Yep.
They're going
yes,
for it.
ballistic. It's
Right?
what's the word I'm thinking of?
Uninhibited?
Instinctual. Like
Yeah.
instinctual, like just human instinct,
Yeah.
not putting on that mask, not just doing what you do, you
Yeah.
know?
But then on top of that, like, at the end, I'm just gonna say spoilers like 75 times.
Sure.
Spoilers. They're probably, like, high out of their minds.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
When
absolutely.
we learn what we do about them.
Yeah. Like,
They don't
they're,
feel the
like,
cold.
on the one hand, like,
Yeah.
they're definitely very uninhibited and just kinda like, "Whatever feels good, that's what we're gonna do, and we're gonna fuck
Yeah.
nasty in the woods."
Yeah.
But on the other hand, we find out later about, like, why they're actually there. They are definitely sampling the goods. Like,
Oh yeah.
they are
For
probably
sure.
high out of their ever-loving
Yeah.
minds.
I felt like it served as that stark reminder too. They're in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
And
And that there's people there that they don't know
yes.
and that
Yeah.
are unpredictable.
Right.
It reminded
And
me
very
a
different from what they're used to.
Yes.
little bit of one of the TV shows that my daughter got me into, which is terrifying to think that she likes this. Have you two seen Yellow Jackets?
I knew you were gonna say Yellow Jackets. Yes, I have.
Because I'm a
I
Lord of the
knew you
Flies
were gonna
fan,
say
and
it.
that is literally
Yes.
like Lord of the Flies with girls, right?
Yes.
And the Donner Party we talked about.
Yeah.
But because it takes these civilized people and nature turns them into animals essentially. And that's almost like what these people is happening,
Yeah,
being in
which is
nature.
exactly our next plot point is the isolation of the setting. I put down that it's a little Lord of the
Lord of the
Flies.
Flies-ish.
It's
Yep.
much more civilized, obviously, because they have access to like their cabins and food and like
For now.
right. Like they have the ability to like still cook their amazing meals. But
But they
they're
had to have
cut
all the
off
food
from
there ready. Yeah.
right. They're
Yeah.
cut off from everything else.
Well, you know what I put as down below in the quotes, like where it says, remove all the distractions here in the silence and the solitude, the demons they have kept at bay catch up with them. I
Yeah.
I said that it kind of reminds me of the story of the plane that crashed in the Andes and the people that had
Yes.
to resort to
Yes.
cannibalism.
Yes.
And here that they become figurative cannibals. They're eating each other alive,
Yeah,
figuratively, not
emotionally.
Figuratively,
literally.
emotionally, feeding off each
Yes.
other's emotions instead of,
Yes.
Yeah.
ooh, I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's so, and
Side
that's kind
note,
of along, no, but that's right along the lines of what Yellow Jackets
Yeah,
does too. You
yeah,
have
okay.
this soccer team has crashed in the Canadian wilderness. It's a teenage soccer team,
Yeah.
and their
Oh,
coach dies.
so many secrets involved too. It's
Their coach
crazy.
dies, but it starts out with like a very animalistic ritual, and they're all in masks, like animal masks, and you have no idea who it is. And then it jumps back
Or
into like,
how they got there.
or how they got
Like,
there.
you
You just
start-
know that they're stuck for 18 months.
Oh my God.
And so it's that same thing, like that instinct
it's-
comes out and it's terrifying.
that show, I don't know that I've seen all of it because I
haven't
only
finished. I had to take
yeah.
a break for a little while because it was
Yeah,
very
yeah.
gory.
I watch it in
it's-
like fits and starts,
Yes.
but like what I liked about that show is that it starts in the middle. Like you start like
Yes.
so they've clearly gone off the rails
Yep.
on
and
in
now
the
you got to
wilderness
figure
there.
out how and who.
But you're also getting the aftermath because it cuts back and forth to them as adults.
yeah.
So
20
you're
years in the
seeing-
future
Yeah. 20
after they
years in
got
the future.
rescued and how that has affected them all.
Yeah.
they lived
and so
through.
you're And the cast is like, I don't really know any of the younger actors' names, but like Christina Ricci, Melanie Linsky,
Yes.
the actors that are in it are like top notch.
Yeah.
So like they're acting the hell out of it.
Yeah.
And it's fucked up. It's good. It's really good, but I can't watch it. I'll watch like 2 or 3 episodes and
I
then,
know,
like,
and then I'm like,
break.
I can't.
Yeah,
I can't.
think that's enough of that.
So I looked it up and now my Kindle went to sleep. It is called a closed room thriller.
That's what
And
it is.
that there's
okay.
a limited set of characters and they're all trapped in one location.
Yes.
So it's not
Except
even
for the baby,
whole
which is in another cabin.
another
Cabin.
cabin.
A baby that's in a cabin all by itself.
But that goes with the that isolation of the setting.
Yes.
And like you said, Ma, being claustrophobic. Like you're
Yes.
stuck
it
here.
just makes me so like claustrophobic.
Yep.
Okay.
So next point, secrets
kind
and
of like-
lies.
We kind of already talked about
Did we?
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we talked about like how.
Yeah, and the
I feel like we already talked a little bit
Keeping
about
up with the
keeping up with the
Joneses.
Joneses.
Yeah,
So
so
that's
I
part
think-
of.
Let's
think
go
it-
subplots.
Let's go subplots
Yeah.
because all of these little subplots is what keeps you guessing as to like
Yes.
who is this murderer and who's the victim and why and who is the murderer.
I also felt too, I was worried when I say to some people, oh, it's multiple points of view,
Yeah.
a little bit of time jump, but
Yes.
she very clearly puts it at the beginning of the chapter. And you're either before the murder or after murder.
Yes.
Right.
Like it's either from the murder, everything happens in that time order going forward, or
Yep.
we're starting at the
Yeah.
beginning from the moment they arrive here and now
Yeah.
we're going forward. So it's not like a
Yeah.
total weird jump in time.
No,
Yeah, I
I
mean,
thought it
I-
was easy to follow.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So the
So-
first subplot,
I
the
would say the-
stalker subplot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
You know,
go ahead.
I was like, I had my note there. I think Miranda, kind of got off on having a stalker.
Agreed.
Yeah,
Agreed.
At the same time as she was freaked out by it, but I think it just added to her feeling of self-importance that
Mm-hmm.
you know nobody would stalk me if I wasn't like really cool and really pretty.
Yes. I think my note on that, when we find out who the stalker is, I put a note that just said, "Are we single white femaling her? Like, is that what's happening right now?" Like, all my notes are like that. I have to go back and look at like, what did I take this note about? Like, some of them
Mhm.
make no sense. I'm like, what page was I on? But that one, I was
Right.
like, oh yeah,
I remember
yeah.
exactly.
Single white female, exactly what's happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right. Like, I think Miranda is flattered to a
Mhm.
certain extent because it gives her that validation that she's always looking for.
Right.
But I was like shocked at how maybe naive is the word she was, in that it didn't seem like she ever really like suspected the people closest to her. Like, she
No.
was
Right.
constantly thinking that it was someone maybe they brought in. Like, you know, is it someone that would have been at a party that one of my friends held? Is it someone that I would have seen at blah, blah, blah? She never thought to herself, like, it could just be like this friend right here. Like, I would have been suspicious of everybody.
My question, how did she not recognize her? She spent an entire day with her
Yep.
at Oxford before they got in.
Yes.
And I get that she changed her hair and all that, but I still feel like they've now she's been in the group now for a couple years. How
Yeah.
do you not know that that's the same person?
I chalked it up to her being like so superficial that they spent the
so
entire
that
day.
that she
together.
never
Well,
paid
She
attention to
wasn't-
who she was
yeah.
really with. Yeah.
That she was just kind of like, you know, okay, like this person's here, like, like I imagined her
Yeah.
like that whole day, like she would talk and Miranda would just be like, okay,
Mhm.
great.
Okay, awesome.
And like was not actually like engaging on any kind of meaningful level. I still think she would have had like a moment of like deja vu, or like, do I know this person? Like,
Yeah.
this person is familiar to me. But
Yeah.
I don't think she paid attention that first day at all. Like, I think she could have been like, yeah, I hung out with a girl that had brown hair and was shorter than me, or like
Right.
whatever. And
Yeah,
that was
yeah.
the extent of what she took from that day,
Yeah. Yeah, that's
which
true.
like shows how like fucking superficial and like
Yeah.
mean girly she is. Like, she really did not give a shit.
Well, and
Yeah.
also stalker wise too, remember she was saying she was only taking small things
Yeah.
and sometimes returning them. So that's
Yeah,
probably helping Miranda's,
Yeah.
I'm better than everyone because she's like, oh, they aren't really like steal. They're just borrowing it and bringing it back
Yeah,
I
but there was
like
notes with them, like
I'd be
creepy
and writing
notes,
these
so
like
notes about it. I'm like,
paranoid.
dude, I'd be freaked out about it.
I
yeah,
would be losing my mind
yes.
well,
But
at
yeah,
all
I
times.
think Miranda just thought that
And
it
well,
just inflated her self-importance,
and
you know.
she is 100% believes it to be Mark
Yes,
because
she
it
does for
stopped
a
when
good
Mark
long
started
while.
dating
Yeah,
Emma, and so she
yeah,
assumes it stops because Mark
because
not
he was
has
being
somebody
weird.
else now to be with,
Yeah,
and
to
so
Yes.
he's
focus his
not. So,
attention on.
Okay,
and so
so
I
are
think
we
partially she knows that because she thinks it's Mark, then
Yeah.
she's kind of like it's harmless, but really
Yes.
it could not be harmless. Who knows? Like
Yeah.
she's kind of stupid to not think further about it.
Yeah.
now I have a question. I don't know if are we in spoiler territory yet or not?
Oh yeah.
Yes. On and off.
And
Like
if
this is
I was going to
Okay.
say, I officially now, if you haven't figured out if we've given any spoilers away, now is when we definitely are going to spoil it
right.
because we need to
You're gonna
talk
Okay.
know
about
who
who did it
died
and who died,
and
like,
who did it.
and all this
What
stuff.
would
So
what would you call
official spoiler warning.
what would you call Emma's personality disorder? Because what
They
did she
called
say
it
something
something.
did they? I didn't remember seeing
Yeah,
something where she
They
said
yeah.
something about how where did I put it down?
because she imitates personalities. I mean, she calls herself a
That
personality
she's not a
collector.
real person, she said. Here's the thing about me. I've never felt like a real person. So I was always on a lookout for particularly colorful personalities, like a parasite looking for a host. And I was just trying to figure because I chat GPT'd it and it said narcissistic, but I feel like
No,
that's more Miranda.
So is it
It's
borderline personality disorder?
I don't know. That's
I
a,
had it written down as a note, but not attached to anything. So I don't know why I wrote that down.
to where I just that was like kind of not creeping me out, but kind of creeping me out. Like,
Yeah.
okay, like she just like took on somebody else's persona. So
She's
is
like a
that,
parasite,
yeah.
which is very like parasitic.
I want to
So
see
I
if
was
I
just
can
curious.
find it.
As I like I said, I chat GPT'd it, but what the response I got was more like more Miranda than Emma.
I just said not a psychopath, actually, just a personality disorder.
Just personality disorder. That's the official term for what I
Yeah, yeah.
supposedly have. So
So,
they
but
just called it a
yeah, just the
personality
personality.
disorder.
So
Yeah.
I think that I took the note of borderline personality disorder because that
Yeah.
gets into like OCD tendencies a little bit and like obsessive imitation.
In the movie Single White Female, does it say what she has? Does she have borderline personality? Because it is kind of the
Let's
same
look.
thing. I mean, she basically does everything but
Yeah.
sleep with Julian, like in Single White
Right.
Female, right?
Um,
How about
moving
the
on.
the affair subplot?
So I had mixed feelings on the affair subplot. I liked it because you're getting like all these little like tiny threads starting to come
Yeah.
together. When it was just an affair, like when it was just like, ugh, like whatever. But then when you start to like add in the stalker subplot and like
Yeah.
where does like when you start adding in other players to it, I
Yeah.
started to like how layered it became. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh, it's not just an affair. Like it's an
Yeah.
affair plus a stalker plus a like
Right.
all these other things. And then I wish they had, I don't know that it's necessary, but I kind of wish they went a little harder on like the pregnancy part too. Because
Yeah, I
it
felt like I was reading it all of a sudden. I went, wait, she's taking a pregnancy test? And I was like, did I miss? Maybe I wasn't paying attention earlier chapters,
yeah.
but it
So
felt like all of a sudden it was there.
yeah.
No,
And
there was some lead up to it, I
Was there?
think.
it was
But I can't remember what
very
it was.
subtle though. But I felt like, because it had been mentioned repeatedly before that like Miranda couldn't get pregnant
Yeah.
and like, and I wanted there to be more emotional impact to the fact that like, oh shit,
Did we know before she took the pregnancy test that she was sleeping with Julian?
no.
I
Because
don't
didn't.
think
That's
so.
where I was kind
No.
of like, oh, she pregnant. Who's the
Yeah.
baby daddy? And then I went,
yeah,
like, I was totally, yeah.
yeah. So I kind of felt like the pregnancy part like either needed to not exist or needed to factor in
Yeah.
more. Because why were we mentioning the infertility if that wasn't going to like pack a huge punch?
Mm-hmm.
Because I just felt like she should have been
Yeah.
like more like personally hurt by that, like as
Yeah.
someone who struggled with infertility, like that
But
would have
then
been
again,
devastating.
But then again, Miranda, we were saying earlier, didn't really want babies. She was just
Right.
Yeah.
felt that was the next
The
step.
next
So
step.
And even that
probably.
could have been the impact though. Like if she's like,
Yeah.
I didn't even fucking want babies anyways. Like I just
Well,
felt like
and
there should have been something more there.
it's just one more of those secrets between friends too. All
Yeah.
the layers of like
Yeah.
within this friend group who supposedly all know each other and everything and are
Yeah.
so great. They have an
Well,
affair. They
I
have
seem to
the
find.
insider trading. They've
I
got a
forgot about the insider
pregnancy.
trading.
They've got like, I mean,
Yeah.
lots of, and the fact that, Miranda slept with
Yeah.
the one time before her and Julian were married. But who's Samira's husband?
Can't remember.
That's who it was.
Oh,
That's who she
there's so
slept with
many
him just
names.
once,
Yeah.
where they learned play. So all these like weird secrets about people being together and like
Yeah.
Samira and Giles.
Giles. Yeah, I think it was Giles that she slept with, right?
Yeah. Well,
I think so. Yeah.
And then all the flirting with Mark and the weird,
yeah.
Yeah. Like
Um,
that's just icky. It's just weird.
I was gonna say sometimes I feel like authors sometimes they build up like all these subplots and then they don't have time to always resolve them all.
Yeah.
So like I think they take the time to resolve all these other things, then the end of the book will get really tedious. So I think they have
Yeah.
to just focus on the most important ones, and they can't necessarily, tackle every single individual side
Mhm.
plot that there is.
Yes.
But
Well, and
For sure.
perhaps the point of all the subplots being that these friends have secrets.
yeah.
Yeah.
They
Yes.
all have something
Yeah,
on
yeah,
each
yeah.
other and they're all like sketchy.
It's
I did
very
feel
like the movie Clue.
Yes.
Obviously, like in a much more serious
Yes.
manner, but like that idea of like everybody has some sort of secret
Yeah.
that they're trying to keep from each other.
It made me think, I know when I think our last episode we talked about how much we hated the characters in Before I Fall, but then you get to the end of
Yes.
Before I Fall and you
Right.
love them all. This
Yeah.
one, you never like the characters, but it's
No.
not a
No.
bad thing
Right.
because
You're
they
supposed to kind of
all
like.
you're supposed to not like them, and they all deserve what they have coming to them,
Yes.
Right.
so to speak. And so it just feels good that they get what they deserve.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. You're like
You're
good.
kind of like,
Yes.
yes,
Yep.
good. None of you are likable. None of you are
Yes.
nice people. And in
Yeah.
the
But I
end,
think
everyone's lives implode.
Yes.
Well, I think that adds to the kind of like the suspense, or like you don't like any of them, so you're not
Yeah.
rooting for one of them to be the killer, because any one of them could be the killer, because all of them are horrible people.
Yeah. They're all horrible, and you almost don't even care. Like I was excited to like solve the mystery of who
Yeah.
got killed, but I really didn't care who it was. Like there was no one.
Any
that
of
I was
them
like,
could have
"Ah,
been. Mhm.
I hope it's not Katie." Like any of them could have been killed, and I would have been like,
Yep.
valid. Like,
Right.
Yeah.
makes sense
And
how you got there.
the part you have about groundskeeper Doug being a killer in the past,
Yeah.
he's the red herring.
Right. And I
Because he's
actually
the
have
one that
written
has
down.
the
I was like, "He's red
aggression.
herring." Yeah.
He's the aggression right away that makes you just
Yeah.
go, oh, he's the one that's capable of doing it.
Right.
But then you
And
also
you
get
know it.
Mark, who has moments of real violence that
Like
you're like,
serious violence
Yeah.
that they've like covered up. Like, it's
So
like the
between the
worst time.
two,
Yeah.
it's like,
Yeah.
maybe
But I
he
felt
could.
like Doug, the gameskeeper, his was more PTSD
His was
related.
PTSD.
Yes. And I think it's.
But
it
you don't
flat out
learn that
says
till later.
Yeah.
You don't learn that till later.
Yeah.
But I think he mentions does he mention being in the military? I don't know, maybe not.
Not for a while. Not for
Yeah.
a
It's
while.
not. That's one spot that I actually had like highlighted because I was like, my note on it is I knew it, but it's not until page 222
Yeah.
where they talk about the fact that he had PTSD
Yeah.
Okay.
and that sometimes he's not fully in charge of his own actions and that he
Yes.
hates that. He hates
He
knowing
hates
that
that
it's possible.
yes.
Yeah, and I think that was a red herring, yes, but I also liked the idea that even he doesn't know for a
Mhm.
good chunk of the time if it's
Yeah.
possible that he did it because
Right.
he basically blacks out and loses time and ends up like in other locations. So the idea that like it's a red herring because he's the one that has a past,
Yeah.
but also like there's so many other layers that I was like, what if it's not? Like what if
think-
it's a double twist?
I would say, I think you could almost say Doug is like the easy out.
Yes.
The one where you're
Yes.
reading going, oh, it's definitely him. I think Ian was the red herring.
Okay.
Because
Oh,
he's
yes.
sketchy, and then you
He's
still don't know,
super
and you're like,
sketchy.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
He's like smuggling drugs on the property, and he's doing all this, and he's got
Yeah.
a gun, and he's got all this.
Yeah.
So you're
he's
you're
like-
kind of right away going, it's him, it's Ian. He is.
Yeah.
We haven't
He's
heard a
got-
lot
he's
about him. He seems
somehow
like this
part
nice
of that.
guy. Yeah.
I would
The
have been
handyman who
really
fixes the
mad
things.
if it wasn't one of the, like, core group. Like, if someone
Yes.
outside of the core party was the killer, I would maybe have not been mad if the person murdered was outside of the core party, if it was, like, Ian got murdered and we were like, "How the fuck did that happen?" But I think it had to be, like, someone from the main group
Yes.
to make it, like, all make
Yeah.
sense.
I also thought it was brilliant because of that, a good thriller writer. The first chapter was from Emma's point of view. And I think that was intentional because you immediately like her more than the other characters.
Yeah. Well, because she's endearing. She's
She's
trying
endearing.
so
She's
hard,
trying so hard. She planned this
putting so
vacation.
much
She just wants
thought
to
into
fit
it.
in with her
Yeah.
boyfriend's friend group. She's going to cook these amazing things, and so you're literally like,
Yeah.
she's really the last one from my mind
Yes.
for a
Because
long
No,
she
I just
time.
seems
felt like
so unassuming
Yes.
at
oh,
the
no,
start.
thought she was so excessive though too, like all
Yeah.
of the that she wanted all these
So
high-end
showy.
foods and like
Yeah.
that kind of put me off.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
I
she's
still didn't
trying
like
to
her.
yeah.
She just didn't seem
I didn't hate her as much as because right away
Yeah.
you hate Miranda.
for
Yeah.
sure.
Katie seems too mousy. Like, okay, girl,
Yeah.
stand up for yourself. Like,
And
Like, do
she's the
something.
one who's like the
grow
Miranda
a pair.
wannabe.
Yes.
You know, that she's the one who comes,
She apparently comes
Yeah.
across as the Miranda one.
yes,
Yeah.
like but not the mousy Miranda. You know, Miranda
Yes.
didn't
Yeah. Yeah.
wasn't
Miranda
perfect.
Light.
Yes.
Okay,
sure.
so some potential questions.
Yes.
we cover these?
So these are from the reading guide.
The
in
reading
book.
guide in the book, yeah.
Yes. Let's see.
Did we talk about this? The idea that perception is reality is brought up by several characters. Do you think this is true? How does this belief impact the group dynamics?
Well, I liked because it was from so many different perspectives.
Yeah.
Everyone and their brother is an unreliable narrator. In this
Yes.
one.
Which is another question I left out, but like who's
Yes.
reliable, who's not? Yeah.
Yes. So they're all unreliable because they all
Mhm.
are coming at it from like their point
Their
of view.
point of view.
And I think
Oh, I did put
think
that
it
down.
works. Yeah. And like
That
the
is the next
perception
question,
is
yeah.
reality it is reality for that individual character. And as the reader,
Yes.
you can only take it as such.
Yeah.
Until you get a contrary perspective, you're like, oh yeah, okay, that makes sense because Katie is telling me that's how it worked for her. And then you read another chapter and you're like,
But
wait
yeah.
a minute.
And I think going along with that, because the perception is reality could have two meanings. The fact that they're so concerned about what other people think of how they're perceived, that I have to put this front on, I have to wear this mask so everyone likes me. So you have like both things happening.
Yeah.
Which is
It would
kinda
be interesting to see, like, obviously their lives completely implode. But there's a quote at the end. I didn't put it on the thing because it like was not pertinent to just like a quote floating all by
Yeah.
itself. But I did highlight it for myself. It's at like the very end. It's like 2 pages from the end. Samira and Giles are, I imagine, getting along very happily in Balam with their right-thinking friends who don't take drugs or down bottles of
Yeah.
champagne or, for that matter, kill each other. And so, like, it gives you, like, this little, like, this is how we imagine that couple is living now. Like, they're living a very different life than they were, than the front they were putting on when they were with this group.
Right.
It would be interesting to see, like, okay, so that's how those two are when the masks are off. What about Katie? Like, what is Katie like when she's not performing for this group?
Right.
Like when she doesn't feel like she has to keep up with the Joneses. What is Emma like when she's not like fully stalkerish? What would Miranda be like just at home? Like if she didn't think she had to prove anything to anybody, who is Miranda in real life?
The dog has decided to grace us with her presence.
Yay.
And sit itch behind me, which I had to take her collar off.
Well, I was thinking that
have her little
that was-
buzzer.
I was thinking though that like that's the problem with this old friendship is they have to be the roles they've been assigned for the past 10 years. They can't break out of that. They you know they have a role and they have to play it. And it's like even like with like my son-in-law will say like for my daughters that when I'm around they're very different with each other than they are when I'm not around. It's like they fall back into those roles of agitating each other and irritating each other. but when they're not around, they're very different. And so I feel like that's the same thing, is that these characters, they feel like they have a role to play, and they can't break out of it when they're in this friend group.
Yeah.
And when they're
Yeah.
not in
The
the friend group,
expectation. Yeah.
they can be their current self, but we're back in that friend group, they kind of all slot back
Yeah.
into
Yeah.
that dynamic, that, Katie's the mousy one and Miranda's the sparkly one and
Yeah.
whatever else. So,
Well, like you said earlier about that whole college relationship, sometimes you're in this microcosm and that's who you are. And
yes.
sometimes people don't move on from that, or they don't think
Yes,
other people move on
Yes.
from that. I'm
absolutely.
really only still talk to 2, maybe 3 people that I went to college with even. And one of them, it's only because she's on the same group chat as everybody else, and she really never talks to us. My roommate Abby and I, she's the one that's helped me with Kara in Detroit. We see each other all the time.
Right.
That's it. And then our friend, um, Poe, whose name is not Poe, it's Prokrivka. His last name is Prokrivka, so we call him Poe. Poe and Ange, his wife, we'll see like once every, I don't know, couple of years. We'll meet him for dinner or breakfast when we're in town, kind of thing, or text at least. But these friends, almost like they're forcing this relationship to keep
Yes.
happening and forgetting that
Hmm.
they've all changed. They're all
They're all
different
different now.
people, and it makes it much harder for them, which kind of goes into this next question because we talked about the reliable narrators. What role does class and socioeconomic standing play in this book? And then how does the act of hunting relate to it?
I like the second half of that
I
question.
do too. That's why I saw that. And I was
Right?
like, ooh,
I like that.
because I'm a sucker for a good title and how it relates to a book.
Uh-huh,
So,
uh-huh, uh-huh. So, I mean, I think we already talked about how like Miranda is
yeah.
playing at being high class, and
Yeah.
like she's quickly falling behind just in terms of like her career didn't take off. She can't really have a baby. She doesn't know it, but her marriage is falling apart. Like
She, she also keeps talking about how Emma dresses, and it's so
yeah.
poor, and
Yeah.
Katie doesn't do anything, and, Katie's a lawyer, she's making a
Right.
shit ton of money,
Right.
a lot more money than Miranda is, but she's still not wearing like, she's making it a socioeconomic thing even though it's
Yeah.
Because she's
not.
still stuck in
And
college.
Yes,
right.
yes.
And then like the haircut thing, wasn't there something like someone went and got a
Yes.
haircut at like somewhere
That
she wanted to go with them? Like
Oh,
I thought that was
yeah,
yes,
super
yes. Katie
performative.
went
I
to the
just remember
place
that.
that Miranda
Yeah. And like I would have
she
gone with
just
you, and Katie's like, it's just a fucking
that's
haircut.
why,
Like this
yeah,
is not
yeah.
like a group effort. Like what are
yeah.
we doing? But I think like I don't know that class and socioeconomic status actually plays that big of a role in like their group as much as they think it
They think
does.
it does, yeah.
Yeah, like they make it a bigger
They
deal than
make
it
it a
is.
big deal.
I do think that they automatically look down on Doug and whatever
Yes,
what's the
Heather.
girl's name?
Heather, yep,
Heather, because they're like the working class or
yep,
whatever.
yep,
I think it plays a role on that side of it,
yeah.
where they're just like, these 2 people are just working here. Like, we're
Well, they
fancy,
also
they're
look
not.
down on newcomers to the group because
Yeah,
they're not like the OGs, like, the
yeah,
boyfriend or the husband from New York and
uh-huh,
Emma, because they're not part of the original group. So
Yeah.
yeah,
it's not so much social class, but part of
But
being part of the group.
the boyfriend from New York, he fit in sooner because he was from New York versus
yeah,
Emma says she's from Bath.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it was kinda like, "Oh, well, he's okay because he's, like, bougie."
He's
It
from the
makes me
big city.
wonder how many of them live normal lives and then save all their bougie things for when they're together.
Right.
Because they're
Yes.
talking about, I mean, the champagne they're drinking, it's high-end
Yeah.
champagne, like, "Oh, yeah, we've got all this money." Do they literally
Right.
save
Like
it to be like,
once a
"We have one
year.
trip, and I gotta show that
Yeah,
I'm still,
I
like,
gotta
hot
show
shit."
up with my fucking beef Wellington and make sure
Right,
everyone knows what's
right,
what.
right.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, second half of that question though, how does the act of hunting
Yeah.
relate? Obviously there's like an actual hunting scene, but hunting I think is one of those things that is not very middle class. Like it is either you hunt by necessity because you're stocking your fridge or your freezer, or you hunt because you got so much money and
The
spare time
trophy.
that yeah. So I think like, this is a game lodge where like people
Yes.
do hunt for both reasons.
Yeah.
And I think the party here is like down to clown to like show off like
Mhm.
my shooting skills, but none of them is like actually like
Well,
understanding of like hunting culture
Right.
or like why people hunt.
yeah, it feels it's like I think it shows how out of touch they are with this lifestyle. Just
Yeah.
like even the clothing they brought, the boots that they bought are all completely inappropriate for the Scottish Highlands
Yes.
because
Mhm.
they're like the bougie labels from London, but none of them is outfitted properly to be in a hunting
To really
lodge
hunt, yeah.
Right.
to really hunt. So I think it just shows them so how to out of touch they are with that whole lifestyle.
Yeah.
And I do think though too in like England, I mean, like fox hunting is a very
Mhm.
popular sport for
Still.
Yeah.
for the upper class.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I do think that that hunting part of it might be more of a bougie thing than it would be here in the States. But I just feel like it kind of
We
just
do
shows.
pheasant hunting here
We're
with
Oh,
our
do you?
big
Tennessee
deer
walkers.
huge deer hunting state because we are
Yeah. Well, I
overrun
mean,
with deer.
Colorado is a massive hunting state, but in New York they call them dog trials, but they take
Mhm.
the dogs out and hunt pheasant like from
Mhm.
horseback. It's
That
very much like fox hunting.
fox hunting, but
Yeah, yeah. All the Tennessee
so
walkers go out and run around the field. It's great.
I just found a good quote. I cannot believe I
Yeah,
didn't
yeah.
mark this earlier about hunt probably
Yeah.
because I didn't think about the hunting, but when they're
Yeah.
having about to have dinner or something like that, um, we don't hunt the deer just for the sake of it, the gamekeeper says. We do it to keep the numbers down. Otherwise, they'd get out of control. So it's
Yep.
necessary. And then Ingvar, who's the guy from Iceland,
Yeah.
says,
Yeah.
but I think it's necessary for another reason. The man Ingvar says, humans are hunters. It's in our very DNA. We need to find an outlet for those needs, the bloodlust. And I'm like, how did I miss that?
How? How?
Like, because I think it's because it's very early in the book. And
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
you're
You're
not
like not
quite
quite there
thinking
yet.
about it, but that notion of hunting and bloodlust and I think
Yeah.
like you guys said earlier about they're metaphorically hunting each other,
Yes.
Yes.
not
In
just
a
the
very
game.
like mean girl catty way. Like they're out to do some damage to each other.
Yeah.
Kind of always. Like
Yeah.
there's always like some comment to be made or
Yes.
some way to
And
knock someone else off a pedestal.
yes.
And I think it's to put the reader on edge too. Like we all know
Yeah.
somebody died and how, who, what, how did they
Yeah, yeah,
die?
Yep.
yeah.
Who
Yep.
killed them? Was this, I think that puts you on edge too.
Yeah, that's very true.
Builds the suspense.
The other thing too, I was just thinking about this. The person who actually gets the deer is Emma, who also, when you talk about socioeconomics, they all think that she's poor trash anyway.
Right.
So, of course, she's the one that does it, and in fact, they even point out that she has blood streaked on her face at
Got
one
that part.
point.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
But she's
And I
really like, "Oh, I get to have fresh venison for," but also she's a skilled killer. Like, she's trained in hunting
Yeah.
to an extent to know where to hit him and stuff, so thought that was interesting.
Yes. And it's not easy. Like I was a little like I mean, obviously like she clearly knows what she's doing enough to handle it, but like it's not easy to hit a target that small.
Mhm.
Like what? Like why are we taking these very untrained people out for like an actual hunt right out the gate? Like we didn't even do any practice shots really. Like we're just going
Right,
to go
right.
right out there with the weapons and see what
because
happens.
money talks.
I know.
Yeah.
They
It's,
paid a
well,
lot of
but
money.
so there's a place in upstate New York that is like it's a very expensive kind of hunting
Mhm.
lodge kind of place. It's owned by the same guy that built the mall out there. And it's beautiful. And people pay big money to come hunt. And I knew the guy that was like their Doug basically.
Mhm.
And you had to do like for liability reason alone.
Mhm.
They did a lot of safety stuff before you were ever allowed out there. So like little things like that where I was like, it feels like there should be some more safety checks in place before.
Yeah.
But also it's a book, so it's not real life. But I was like, we're just gonna hand those
But
over.
also,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
because
that's
we rode our horses there quite a bit. So I was like, I remember there being like a lot more safety involved.
right,
But
right.
again, it's a book and it's about murder. So we don't want there to be too much safety involved.
What about, point of view of characters? I didn't notice this, but the point of view chapters are all women except for Doug? And why did Foley make
Yeah.
this choice? What effect does it have on the other male characters? How they're perceived and portrayed?
I viewed the other male characters as set dressing a little
Okay.
bit.
Yeah.
I was like, they're there to kind of like advance the plot, but are
Yeah.
inconsequential. Like they're just arm candy. They're there, but
Yeah.
they're not really important. And like, I don't know that I noticed that they didn't have any
I didn't either until
chapters
like,
until
yeah.
you just said it.
Right.
But I already felt like they were just kind of like there. Like,
Well, that
Yeah.
kind of ties into the Mean Girls idea too.
Yeah.
That's these are the mean girls that are running the show, and that they have their not their beef with each other, but their
yeah.
Where
their
the guys, they're only thinking they're like very one-sided minds.
One-dimensional.
Like
Yes.
one-dimensional. Like Julian is just thinking about sex all the time.
Yes.
And
all the
Mark
time.
thinks about Miranda all the time. And
Yeah.
Giles just
Yes.
thinks about his baby. Like there's not a lot
Yeah.
going
Yes.
on there for them to think about, where Doug is more complex because he's got this
Yes.
PTSD.
Yeah.
I
He's a
so
complete
did not want
character.
it to be Doug. I was so
I
glad
know.
it
Yeah,
was not
right. I
Doug.
was like, please, this poor man.
I know.
Please don't make
He's
him
gone
the
through
killer.
enough. Let him not be the
Yeah.
killer.
Why
And
do you think
Heather-
Foley made the choice? I don't know
Probably
why.
for that reason, because it's not
Yeah.
as interesting if it's inside
Yeah.
the men. I mean, I feel like I would have enjoyed being in Julian's head for like a hot second.
Yeah, and you'd be like, that's a lot.
And then
of
I would be
work.
like, all right, I'm bored. Like,
yeah,
Yeah.
like I
Yeah.
want to know what he's thinking. Like, how do you put up with Miranda is really what I want is thinking.
literally.
Must be good sex because she's atrocious.
She's
Well,
awful.
and also maybe not because he's got Katie on the side. So
yeah, right.
that's
He's just
true.
like, I'm just gonna keep Miranda around for
yeah.
now.
she's
Well,
eye
she
candy,
also
that's
has
it.
a secret. Isn't that the one that
Yes.
has
Right.
the insider
Yeah, the
trading? So
insider
she has
trading,
a
yeah.
secret. So
Insider
he has to
trading.
keep her around, because if he dumps her, then she
Yeah.
can go
Yeah.
and turn him in.
Blow
He has
his life
everything to
up.
lose.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't know. I think but women are more complex, and so I think if it was a man who did it, it would just be a lot more easy to solve. Where I
Mhm.
think the women give us more nuances.
I wondered, makes me curious. I'm thinking of all the thrillers I read, and most of them are women, except, and then there were none. Agatha Christie.
Yeah.
But
I
a lot
just
of them,
listened
they're
to a good
women
one,
the
and it
women are
was women
killers.
too.
Like, or
Yeah.
the women are the narrators.
Driving factor.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. Interesting. Even a lot
And
of
one thing-
Agatha Christie they are too, though. They're still, it's not just that book, but others.
One thing that kind of blew my mind at the end was just how nobody could be trusted.
Yeah,
Even the guy at
literally.
the train
Yep.
station and
Yeah.
Ian and everybody was in
Everybody
on it.
involved in something.
The boss who owns the hunting
Yeah.
lodge
Yes.
is like in on the drug stuff the whole
Yeah.
time. Like, he
Yes.
fully knew.
That's just the front for the.
I was like, wow.
The
Yeah.
hunting lodge is just
feel
a
like
front
Heather and Doug were just like,
pawns.
what is
Yeah.
happening here? Yeah.
They're just trying to rebuild their lives, and they got
He's
caught up
trying
in
to
all
have a
this
job.
mess.
Which then I
Yeah.
felt bad
Yes.
for, because I was like, oh yeah, poor Heather is trying to find herself, and she gets herself
Yeah.
involved in this
Yes.
Yeah.
crazy
Heather's
job.
the only
she
one I
has.
never really suspected, because I felt like she was just kind of caught there.
She
just
seemed
kinda
too
caught in the
naive.
web.
She seemed to
Yeah.
be too naive about everything to truly
And
get
she
it.
didn't. I mean, her reason for being there was her husband died in a fire, and she
Mhm.
was just looking
Needed to
for some
start over.
solitude.
Yep.
Yep.
Needed to
and,
start
Needed a
over.
try. Yeah.
and so I never. She was the only one I didn't suspect.
Yeah. How about some of these quotes?
Like we talked about some of them.
Yeah,
I
some-
think a lot of them kind of point to other things we've talked about. Like,
Yeah.
that we've talked about it repeatedly. The one quote but that's the thing about old friends, isn't
Mhm.
it? Sometimes they don't even realize that they no longer have anything in common,
Mhm.
that maybe they don't even like each other anymore.
Right.
I think that's the entire crux of this book.
Yeah.
Is that
Yes.
these people are trying to force something that
It's been gone for a
does
long
not
time.
work. Yeah.
Yeah.
The one
For
quote, I don't know who put it in there, but it says, "I've always known exactly what's going on in Katie's life. She's always known
Yes.
exactly what I've
What I've
chosen
chosen.
to
Yes.
share of mine." And I added the comment, "Are you sure of that, Miranda?" Because-
Exactly.
I love
But I loved that, because that shows how, again, that control that Miranda thinks she has.
Yes,
Right.
and she doesn't.
Mhm.
She thinks she's the queen bee, and she's really not.
Yeah. So many of these quotes that I pulled had more to do with the individual characters that make them
Yeah.
like, oh, is this
Like,
makes
oh,
them
is
a
that the
suspect.
person?
Like,
Yeah.
I could also tell I made him uncomfortable. That knowledge is a kind of power from Miranda about Doug.
About
Like she
Doug.
thinks
Like,
that
how
because
creepy are
she
you?
makes the
Like,
gameskeeper uncomfortable, that gives her power over him.
Right.
yeah. Like, she's so creepy.
I
Yeah.
Like,
know.
what is wrong with you?
Yeah. But then there's
Yeah.
a few things about how Doug looks, how he looks like, or he even refers to himself as I'm not a good person. So then you're like
Yeah.
things like that.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
should
Yeah.
stay away from me. And
Yes. Yeah.
I behaved no better than any of them and far worse than some. But isn't that just part of the problem? Old friends don't challenge us on our faults.
Yeah.
And that was Katie. That, like early in chapter, oh no, late. That was late, chapter 61. So that was one of the last things.
Well, and it's like they don't challenge us on our faults, but also it's because you got dirt on them too.
Yes.
Like it's not for lack of like
Right.
disagreeing with you.
Right.
It's because they know there could be retribution. Like,
Yeah.
and it would be swift because you also have dirt.
Yes.
And the faults it's not like they don't call each other out on their bullshit. It's totally different. The faults are different than just the bullshit.
Right.
The different than somebody saying like, oh, I've done that before. And you're like, no, you haven't. It's like serious faults, like Miranda's constant need for attention.
Yeah.
Everyone knows it, but they're not going to say that to
They're
her.
not going to say anything.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, the food.
It was like so good.
Makes me want to make
was
beef
so-
Wellington.
No, it was so pretentious, though. I mean, it was
Yes.
just
It
like
was, but I liked that it was just like this random, like, we have to get the salmon ready. Like, it was such a, like, I think it gave some things a little bit of levity, just in terms of, like,
how ridiculous.
how ridiculous it was that, like, someone has died. Or,
Yes.
like, things have happened, but, like, should I make the smoked salmon? Like,
We're hungry. We must
we're
eat.
hungry. Yeah, they're super fancy. They're super labor intensive. Emma's so invested in making this food good.
Mm-hmm.
And I just wanted to be like, nobody gives a shit. Like,
right.
you're
And-
trying so
And
hard.
pretentious from her too. Again, trying to
Yeah.
prove that I'm not white trash. She says, we'll be cooking for ourselves. They've ordered food in for me. I sent a long list in advance. Fresh truffles, foie gras, oysters. Like,
Yeah.
come on.
Come on.
You're not going to find that down at the little mini mart in Fort
No.
William, you know?
No.
Not at all.
And I just like was imagining it had to have been Heather, like looking at the list and being like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Seriously?
Like,
For
what is coming my way? If it was me, if I was Heather, as an aside, and someone sent me that list, I'd be Googling every guest name and trying to gather, like prepare myself. I'd be like, who
Yeah.
is coming this way? What information can I find? Because that's batshit.
Absolutely.
Yeah. The beef Wellington killed me though, because I don't
Doesn't
eat
that
fancy
become
food.
venison Wellington though? Because
Yes, it does.
Yes.
she puts the fresh venison in it.
Yes.
Well, no,
I
they
only-
couldn't use the fresh
only-
one. They had to use one that
They-
was already
The one that
That
was
was
already
already,
had
like,
been set
aged.
for a day or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. I only ever think of beef Wellington in relationship to Gordon Ramsay and Hell's Kitchen. Because it's like one of the staple things that he asks them to cook, and he's always like, "You fucking donkey, you can't even
Right.
make a beef Wellington." I'm like, I don't even know what the fuck that is. Like, okay, so anytime it comes up now, I'm like, is that a difficult thing to cook, or is it
Apparently
have
it
no
is.
idea.
And I'm
is it
like,
fancy? I know nothing about it.
it seems like you just like wrap a piece of beef in puff pastry.
In
But
a
I guess
puff
there's a lot
pastry,
more
right?
to it.
Yeah. Yeah, but all the food in this like just made me laugh. Like it just seemed so silly
Yeah.
to be putting that much effort. And then like
Everything had fancy names too. It wasn't
Yeah.
like, let me get the appetizer out. It was like, let me
Yeah.
get the blah, blah. And I was like, okay.
yeah. And then like the absolute excessive amounts of champagne that nobody actually seemed to want to drink.
Yeah.
Yes.
Nobody wanted champagne, but they were all,
Right. But we had it
Drinking
and
it,
it was
yeah.
expensive. So like we better drink it. But it seemed like everyone like whiskey, like there was other drinks that they would rather have.
right.
But like everybody's drinking the champagne. like straight out the bottle. Absolutely crazy.
Well, didn't they pour it on somebody got it poured on them too, didn't it? Didn't they?
So they
Mark,
did
like,
say
Miranda made
Yes.
him drink that whole bottle, like
Oh, that's
she
right.
basically like sexually assaulted him with it.
Yes.
Like she jammed it down his throat
yeah.
Yes.
in a very like
And she
like
even
that.
talked about how it was a little far, like it
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
She like shoved it down his throat. I forgot about that game until right this second that they
The
did play
truth or
like a
dare,
game of
like
truth or dare
yeah.
that
Oh, that's
involved
right.
her like sexually assaulting him in the middle of the circle with a champagne bottle. That's just there's a lot of red flags for these people.
We learned later too, I forgot to write this down earlier, that Emma learns to cook because she wants to meet Miranda more because Miranda doesn't
Yeah.
go to the canteen anymore. And so she
Yeah.
thinks if I
If she
cook,
can
Miranda's going to walk down the hall and go, "What is that amazing smell?"
Yeah.
and open up and be like, "Who are you? You're this amazing cook." And so she literally
That's
learned how to cook
so
all of
weird.
this stuff for Miranda.
Yeah.
And now she's making it for her. And everyone's like, "Oh, you're a wonderful cook." Like they know she's a wonderful cook.
And like what a creepy obsession that's been going on for what, 10 years,
Yeah.
12
Yeah.
years?
Yeah.
Like to weasel her way into the friend group by
Mhm. By
hooking
being
up with
like
Mark. I
and
mean,
like
that's
objectively Mark is horrible.
yes.
Like so I got to think Emma knows it. Like Emma knows he's an awful person.
And she knows how he feels about Miranda too.
Yeah.
But
Right.
she
But
sticks
she's
it
like
out
She's there to
because
be
that will get
closer
her
to Miranda.
closer.
Closer to
Right.
Miranda. Yeah.
which is just there's so many things in this that I wanted to just be like, that's icky.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I don't like that.
Yeah.
Like,
I kept, I was thinking, I don't care if any of them, all of them die. They're all pretty miserable. I just want Doug and Heather to make it out alive.
right.
Maybe they'll
Right.
all die of like carbon monoxide poisoning or something because I'm just over them all.
Ugh.
I feel like I was indifferent to Samira and Giles. Like, just go take your baby and go elsewhere. Like, I
I
didn't
know,
have any like big
seriously.
feelings about them necessarily. I felt like Samira was like a little at the end of her rope. Like she was starting to feel over them as well.
Right.
I wanted to be like, just leave.
Oh, you know what?
Go
Though
hole up
too,
in your cabin and leave.
but weren't there comments too about how like Samira, um, they were like Samira was really a party girl when she was in college, and like
Yeah. And now
Yep.
she's
Miranda
all
was
like,
frustrated that like she's not the
mhm.
same party girl because she's got a baby, and the same thing like of them expecting the same in the same roles that they had 12 years ago, and
Yeah.
not being willing to accept that life goes on and we're not the people we were in college.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
Miranda still just wants to still be in that same role that she's been in all along
Yes.
because she
Mhm.
hasn't grown out of it. She
I was
hasn't
gonna say,
launched out of
and
it.
it's like the last time she was like a winner.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like she was on top when they were in college. So if she can
Yes.
hold on to that, she needs to or wants to.
Yeah.
All right. We
Crazy.
talked a little bit already about the places.
Yeah.
It's obviously like what did you say it was? What was it called? Not one location. That's not the word.
Closed door thriller.
Closed door thriller.
Closed door thriller, or was it closed something thriller?
It's closed door. We're going to call it a closed road thriller because they can
Yes.
move about the property,
Let's
but
see. Oh yeah, or like a locked door thriller,
a locked
Locked
door.
door.
featuring
Yeah.
a crime, usual murder where the setting or situation traps limited suspects. So closed door or locked door thriller, but I like the
Yeah.
locked door thriller better.
It's a closed road
Yeah.
for all intents and purposes on this one.
Yeah. I
Because
think
they are
closed door has
only-
become to mean different things. So I feel
Yeah,
like
that's like
thrillers, I prefer to call it a locked door thriller.
locked door. It's the remote Scottish lodge.
Yeah.
It has the lock and it has the old hunting lodge. And that's like really kind of it.
Yeah,
The train
I wrote
station
down
is, like,
some
very
of the
minuscule.
other places because you have the lock. They talk about
Mhm.
swimming and it's very
Yeah.
cold. And so
Yeah, I
you
can't
have,
even
and
imagine in the summertime going
Oh,
into
it's
a
cold, but-
Scottish lock.
I also
I
think
mean, I've polar plunged before. It's
Yeah.
pretty fun. Yeah.
Scottish locks, let's be honest, they have a reputation
Yes.
of potentially holding monsters too. So I think that you
Yes.
have that
I would
Lock
be
in the
now.
back
so
of your
excited.
No, but I think Americans like tend to think that. So
Yeah.
it ups your suspense a little because you're like, ooh, a
Yeah.
lock is more, I think of it more as like a dark, scary lake as opposed
Yeah.
to just a lake, right?
Mhm.
The original hunting lodge that burned down
Right.
So if you're someone who's
Yep.
obsessed with abandoned buildings like me,
Yes.
I would be all over that.
Love that.
Like
Me too. I'd be up there all
it
the
burned
time.
down. They even talk about how it smells like it just burned down, but it's been
Yeah.
like decades. It still
Uh-huh.
smells the fire.
Uh-huh.
The
But
stables,
what's
which
wi
are locked, but still they're unstable.
Yeah,
And
they're
so it's
unstable.
locked so that people can't go in there, but that's where, Ian's been hiding. Well,
Yeah, I
he
was gonna say,
ends up
it's
hiding the
not
drugs.
locked because it's unstable. It's at this point, it's
Yeah.
locked
It's
because it's a
locked because
drug
he's got
house.
drugs in there.
Yeah.
What I thought was kind of incongruous is the fact that the new lodge is all like glass and
Yeah.
very modern, which you don't picture that for Scotland and the Highlands. You think of something that's more rustic,
Yeah.
so that kind of made it stand out. Like this, one of these things does not belong.
Almost makes it, scarier in a sense
Yes.
because of that.
And that glass that people from the outside can see in,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
knowing that it was the Highland Ripper was out there,
Yes.
plus you've
Yes.
got these Icelandic people, so, who
Right.
could be anybody.
So I did a little research and found this fantastic website called The Book Trail, which I will be looking into more, because the author, I can't find her name on here. I would give her a little credit. I'm assuming it's a woman. I shouldn't assume it might be a male. Um, Basically has sorted all these books based off location and
I
information
love
about the
that.
location, which
Yeah.
fits in very well with what we do here. So this kind of takes place. How do we decide this is Carrour?
Uh,
Carrour Lodge in Scotland, um, that apparently Lucy Foley stayed at one point and loved it so much she knew it needed to be inspiration for a
A
book.
book.
And so
Yeah.
it's
Well,
not the actual place. This place, I mean, the Scottish place where they are does
right.
not actually exist, but this is
yes. This is like an
close. It even has
approximation.
a burned down
Yeah.
original,
Oh, that's interesting.
yeah, like original hunting lodge or whatever that was burned
Yeah.
down or something like that. And it has cottages all over
Yeah.
and things like that. So one of those places that really does
57,000
exist, but
acres.
yeah,
Yeah.
it looks
Which is
so
One of
like,
the
cool.
that's remote. Like, if you have that much
Yeah.
land, like, even if you're not super remote, you're remote.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
one other thing I was gonna say is Scotland, has very few hours of daylight in the winter.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah,
So
yeah.
that adds to the creepy factor, that there's like when we were there in November, I think
Right.
it was like dark by 4:30. I mean, so that adds to like the whole creep factor,
Yeah, because it's
that
getting
almost
dark
it's
so
dark
soon.
all the time.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. What else were we saying?
Part of that
Oxford.
fun.
I went to Oxford
Oh,
2
did you?
years ago, and it was fascinating. I wish we had more time there, but I found that part interesting, just because
Well,
it
that kind of ties into like the whole class thing too, that they didn't go
Yeah.
to just any old college.
Yeah, they went to
They are
Oxford.
graduates of Oxford, so
Yeah.
that ties into that too.
Yeah, they
Oh,
didn't
wait,
just
who
go
was it
anywhere.
got Oh, it was Miranda who graduated with like a level 3, wasn't it? And
Right. But Katie got
Emma,
a level 1,
Yep.
yes, and that
and
kind of
yeah.
tied into that whole
Mhm.
rivalry and that simmering dislike below the surface that like they try to pretend didn't
Yeah.
really exist.
Um, kind of side note, but probably the coolest literary place I've ever been was the Eagle and the Child in Oxford, which,
Is it a
we
pub?
couldn't it's a pub. We couldn't go in because it's under construction. It was closed,
Oh,
but
okay.
my tour guide took us there because it is the pub where Tolkien
Ooh, okay.
and, oh my gosh, who wrote Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe?
C.S. Lewis.
C.S. Lewis were very good friends, and they used to meet there and have
Yes.
conversations.
I
So
love
it's
Wow.
one
that.
of those
I love
cool,
that they were friends and, like, read each
literary
other's
play. I
things.
didn't go there because of a book, but when I was
Yeah.
there, because I was a reader, our tour guide, his name was Neil, he was amazing. Um, he actually took us to Oxford driving through when we were only passing, and he's like, "We can stop here for a couple hours so you guys can say you've
Oh,
been there
that's
and go
cool.
get a sweatshirt," and I'm like, "It was really I
Yeah,
would
yeah,
really
yeah.
love to go back." But, yeah, so just going there and I was like, "Wait, like, those are, like, 2 literary greats," and they were
Yeah.
friends, and they of course, because Tolkien was also religious, even though
Yep.
his books didn't come out as openly religious as C.S. Lewis, they had big
Yeah.
philosophical religious conversations while in
Yes.
this pub, but it was closed for reconstruction, so all I got is a picture of the outside and everything. Alright, do we have, final thoughts?
No thoughts. Yes. No. No, we've been talking for an hour and a half. I have zero thoughts. Now, my final thoughts are I really did love this book. Did we ever say who got murdered or who did the murdering in this whole discussion?
I don't think we did. I
Not
think we
officially.
implied
We
it.
like
We
implied
kind of
it.
talked
So
around it.
yeah.
I don't think we need to say it.
No, because if you've read it, you know who we're talking
phenomenal
about. And if
teaser.
not,
If you've read it, you know, and if
if
you
you
haven't, you should.
danced around our spoilers, then you're okay.
Yes.
Yeah. But I really did love this one. I think primarily because I didn't know who it was. And
Mhm.
every time I thought I had an inkling, their new
Right.
information would like pop out and I'd be like, oh no.
Yeah.
Like so many
Yeah.
of my notes are like, oh my God, is it Katie who shot? Oh my God, Emma's straight out of her mind. Does Marina kill Emma? Did Emma off Miranda? Is this a single white female situation? Wait, did Miranda kill Katie? No. Did Katie kill Miranda? Like that's and then on page 282, I wrote, am I being gaslit right now? Like I like it when my notes make zero sense because it
Same.
means that like it's keeping me guessing. So that's my final thoughts on this book is I was trying to figure it out the entire time.
Same. Okay, so who's
Okay.
up?
So I
Me?
also love this. We'll definitely recommend it. I actually responded. Lucy Foley posted like this book at the beginning of the year because it's New Year's. And she was,
Oh,
you know,
yeah,
just
yeah.
little, you know, more off their self-promotion, like, hey,
Right.
want to get lost in a hunting lodge or who done it or whatever. And I was like, we picked this book for our podcast,
like,
book of the
that's
month.
us.
So it's a perfect time of year to read it, especially if you're in Michigan, snowed in right now, like I am. Feels even more, it felt more real when I was finishing it going, okay.
Yeah.
And as you
Okay,
know,
here we
I
are.
mentioned before, I'm a sucker for the whole big mansion murder trope, as I call it,
Right.
or, you know, combine that with what we call it, the locked door thriller / closed road thriller.
Yes.
Yes.
How about you, Ma?
I loved it. I love Scotland. I was just there over Thanksgiving and hoping to go back this summer. And only because, and actually because what I was saying before about the limited daylight, we didn't really get to go up into the Highlands as much
Oh,
as we
yeah.
wanted because of so many of the roads in the Highlands are very hard to get through. They're very narrow, and then like trying to get through them at nighttime, like they warn American tourists about doing that because of them just being hard to navigate. So, um, I love Scotland. I love anything that's written about Scotland, and so I really like this book. I thought it was a lot of fun to like keep me guessing, and definitely would like to read more of her books.
I really like her as an author. I
Yeah.
read
And this is the first book I've read.
The Paris
of hers.
Apartment and The Midnight Feast were two of my favorites by her that I read. Midnight Feast, I think, is her newest. In
Okay.
fact, the back of
I'm definitely gonna read more.
my Kindle had an excerpt from
I did see
Midnight
that.
Yes,
Feast.
it does have
Yeah,
that. Yeah.
yeah, good stuff.
Okay, so is it time to reveal our
I
next
think it is
book?
time. All right, it's time now to reveal our featured book for February. So here are a few clues. Clue 1, a winning lottery ticket goes missing, and the guy who finds it is way too good to be true.
Clue 2, a struggling bakery, a viral romantic gesture, and one fake relationship that starts feeling dangerously real.
And clue number 3, late night donuts, accidental fame, and two people who swear they don't need love until luck has other plans.
Of course.
Drum roll, please. Our February book is Just Our Luck by Denise Williams.
Yay. I love a fake date story. You know that.
Me too. Me too.
Let's practice dating because we don't know what we're doing. And then really they're
Right.
Or like,
It's
we got to
amazing.
keep up appearances. Everyone thinks
know.
we're dating.
Everyone
We
thinks
don't want to
we're
let them
dating.
down. I don't know
Let's
how this
just
book
do
is going to
it.
go, but like, and if we have like, you have to make sure it's believable. So we probably need to practice kissing, holding hands,
course.
being in a real relationship.
No one's going to believe we're in a relationship if we don't kiss
If
because
we
apparently everyone
don't
does that in public.
look like we're in a relationship, obviously.
That's it for now. Thank you to everyone who are joining us as we talked about the hunting party.
If you enjoyed this episode, head to our profile, check out the other books we featured so far, including books like Twilight, The 13th Child, Poppy Fields, and so many more. And if you are looking for book recommendations each month, we share what books we've read across every genre.
Speaking of book recommendations, are you obsessed with the books that we talk about on the podcast? Same. You can find all our featured reads, plus some very exciting upcoming releases that you can pre-order over on our bookshop.org storefront. Bonus, every purchase supports independent bookstores, which we love almost as much as fictional drama and unhinged love interests. The link to our shop is bookshop.org/shop/RETR-book club. Or, easier, you can hit up our link tree and click right into our shop. So shop smart, shop indie, and read recklessly.
And don't forget to follow our socials, subscribe to the podcast, and please leave us a review. We want to know what you think.
And if there are other books that you want us to read or feature or just talk about, let us know, because we want to build our TBR piles to like the point where we can't even reach them
Massive.
anymore. And like maybe they fall off the shelves. We want to read all the books.
For sure.
So until next time, keep reading.
Keep exploring.
And don't forget to pack the snacks.
Or beef Wellington.
Yay.